What's up, everyone, and welcome back to our Slab Stocks Sundays episode. My name is Aaron, joined by Julian here on the Slab Stocks YouTube channel. Today, we have an exciting episode talking a lot about different cards with off-the-field performances, or not maybe performances, that's a weird thing to say, on-the-field performances with off-the-field different antics. There we go. That's a better way to put it. And we also have got a very special guest joining the show today who we'll introduce in the next few minutes. So he's going to join us and we'll be talking to him about a few different things I'm super excited about. He's a hobby legend in my book, and I've known him for a few years now, and he's a great guy overall. So I'm very excited to talk to him. All right. Before doing that, feel free to shout out any cards that you all have selling in tonight's auction so we can pull up a couple of them and share them while I'm waiting for maybe one or two of you to name some cards you have selling. I've got some cards myself. We've got some cards going tonight in the auction. So I just flipped the screen here. Here's the various different items. This is in our back-end portal here that are selling tonight in the auction. We've got some Thurman Thomas action, a bunch of different soccer cards, Vlad Jr. auto. There's some really good deals out there, like this Erling Haaland Hobby Master right now. It's at $57 or $56. That is a like $120 raw card. So there are some really, really good deals out there. If you do want to go check out some of these cards, honestly, go to the soccer tab or go just search SGC. There's a bunch of different cards of ours that are in here that are graded by SGC or in the soccer tab. Drew Aller auto lava for Penn State. That should be a good one going into this season. Super cheap at $36 right now. But then there's one card in particular I want to point out here before we move on with the episode, and it is a Cade Klubnik card that is at $13. I think I specifically want to mention it quick because this is at $13. This is the first Bowman Chrome Blue Refractor out of 199. He is Clemson's starting quarterback. They should hopefully go undefeated or have one loss this year and make the college football playoff. Is ideally in my eyes. I do have a lot of Cade Klubnik cards, but this is at $13, and there's like a Bowman Chrome base of Anthony Richardson SGC 9 that's at $13. So don't let a future, hopefully first overall, second overall pick, Blue Refractor, first Bowman sell for the same as a base card of Anthony Richardson, while he's having a bunch of Panini cards released right now too. Maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens with the rest of those. But just want to point out that one because that is just far too cheap. There's even some $5, $3 cards there. We'll talk about those Wander Francos later. I was planning some of those anyways, but now they're just getting crushed for obvious reasons. So we'll jump over to the main auction tab, but hopefully y'all Ken's got that Jordan Love selling tonight. Ken, good timing on the Jordan Love. He looked really good through preseason, and I'm very excited for the season starts. I think it's a Mosaic auto, you said. There it is. Yeah, orange, Scripps, 1010. Pop one auto right there. Very nice of Jordan Love. So if you are looking to get some Jordan Love before the season starts, they definitely are hot, but you never know. Love starts hot, Packers start hot, and could get crazy. Also, Packers could flop, Jordan Love could flop, and then it could not get crazy. So we'll just see. But good luck to Kenwood tonight. My confidence is high. Look good in the preseason. Julian, I just said a lot of words. First of all, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Great.
I don't know if anybody knows I've been shifting like environments the past 3 weeks, so finally settled down in the place that I think we're going to be going forward, except for next weekend, which we're going to be somewhere else. But
okay,
I think right, yeah.
No, we're back on Saturday, so
you should okay. Never mind. I will probably be.
We're going to Burbank, and we'll be back by then. Last thing before bringing in Mikey, how you feel about the race today, F1?
It was actually very exciting, considering even though Max won like everything else, but it was pretty exhilarating. There's some races where obviously we're getting up a little early for it, or at least for me a little early, and I'm like drooping because it's like kind of boring. But this one was very, very fascinating, especially because of the conditions, because it was wet for part of it. It was like on and off, so there was a bunch of strategy that came into it. But our guy Pierre Gasly, podium baby.
Finally, man.
Since 2021, so it's been coming. So I was excited about that for sure.
Finally, yeah, very, very exciting. All right, it's time. It is time. We're gonna bring in Mikey. Mikey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm great, Aaron. How are you doing, man?
Good, very good. Thanks for joining the show tonight. Obviously, very excited to have you, especially because we concluded the Kessem auction a couple weeks ago and just announced the final numbers for that. So for those of you that didn't see on Instagram, it was like $306,000 the last 3 years. Well, Mikey has been a big part of that, and we'll talk about that.
Awesome.
Awesome. it was really cool. And shout out to you and everyone else that's helped out. But we'll get into that later. First, Mikey, I just want to let you introduce yourself and what you do in the hobby and who your main PC is. Let's just start there.
Yeah. Well, hello everyone. I'm Mikey B. I'm a breaker in the hobby, but I also am a buyer, trader, seller. I just love all things cards. I've been back in the hobby. Let's see. I started when I was a young kid. My first job when I was 14 years old was working in a hobby shop in rural Iowa. It was like the greatest time of my life. I absolutely loved it, and got back into the hobby in 2017. Became a breaker in 2018. Just kind of grown the business since then. But I love all things cards. It's an incredible hobby. There's a lot of great people that do a lot of great things. And it's just really, really fun. And coming from someone who's worked corporate side of things and all that stuff, had a big boy job or whatever, this is way more fun. So much more happy here.
Yeah, I was going to say, always something new every day, always something exciting, and always great people to connect with too, which is, I think, the best part,
Absolutely.
Being able to connect in the community. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. What hobby? So is the hobby shop still around you used to work at, or no, I take it?
No, I don't think it's there anymore. I think there is a shop still in Iowa City. It's been a long time since I've been back there. But we had, I think back in the day when that was a long time ago, by the way. I think we had two shops, maybe a smaller one downtown on the campus. We would have a card show every month. My brother and I would set up there. But our hobby shop was awesome. I mean, picture this. I'm 14 years old. We have our shop. We have cards. We have comics. We have baseball hats. We have an indoor half-court basketball court. We have a big screen TV. Now, I'm going to age myself here. This was a 40-inch TV that was about 6 foot deep. That's how like old school we're going, with the Sega Genesis hooked up to it. And that's what I did for work, like in the summer. It was like unbelievable. I was like, literally, there is no better job than this. So I got to talk cards all day, shoot hoops with my buddies. I mean, literally, it was amazing.
Yeah, no,
I would have no money left at the end of that summer.
Oh, I told them they could pay me, but it's all going right back to the store. Yeah.
That's awesome. I know that this wasn't really the plan, but I'm curious, like what did you do at the shop as a 14-year-old to help? Like, what was your job role?
Well, I mean, it's very similar to like what you see kids at shows. I was very knowledgeable. I don't want to use the word like hustle or whatever, but I was really good at negotiating even back then. I was outgoing, so I could talk to people very easily. And I just loved kind of talking all things about sports and cards. And I could sit there, it didn't matter who it was or what they were buying. I would help them find, PC players. I would give recommendations on packs or wax to open. I'd recommend comics books. I was like really into that when I was younger too. So just anything I could do to help out the store. And then, we'd organize, I'd price things out as needed. And there were some things that they didn't want me to do just because of my age and so forth. But really, we had a cool owner, and he was very, very open with like just letting me, hey, do whatever you need to do to make the shop successful.
That's super awesome. No, that's super cool.
Good times.
Thanks for sharing. I'm gonna jump into a card that I know you want to talk about tonight. We got a couple of cards you want to talk about because it relates to where you were growing up and working, and it's this Caitlin Clark, Bowman's Best U Auto. So I think I asked you, and I don't know if you got to it yet, but I asked you, what's your main PC, and I don't know if this relates to it. But let's kind of tackle it all at one time here.
Yeah, so I collect a bunch of different things. I grew up in Iowa, so I'm a huge Hawkeye fan. So I love to collect like rare, I don't even want to say high end, but just like rare Iowa stuff. So of athletes of prominence. So I won't buy an Iowa card just because they went to Iowa. I look at players like in football, like George Kittle and Dallas Clark and those kind of guys. Basketball, you got Keegan Murray, his brother Chris, BJ Armstrong back in my day. And then Caitlin, the reason I thought this card was so interesting is just obviously she is just completely blown up as far as women's basketball, brought so many more people to the sport and to that side of the hobby. So her recognition not only is just a great player, but someone who transcends cards and her sport. To me, it's like, that's so awesome. And she happens to be from Iowa. I was like, oh gosh, this is it. This is my jam. I got to get her. So I've been slowly kind of collecting several Caitlin cards. You guys gave me an impossible task, by the way, to look at the entire weekly auction site. I mean, I could have picked like 900 cards. I'm like, I need more than the time allotted to do it. But I think when I sent this card over to you guys, it was only at like $50. I know the Caitlin market very well. Humbly can say that. Most of our autos been selling well over 100. This one in particular, anywhere from like 125 to 150. So I was like, if you're a women's basketball fan or an Iowa fan, great card to own. If you do card shows and you want something in your display case that might appeal to young girls and moms because they're coming to more and more shows, having Caitlin in your display case is a great attention getter. Plus, obviously, she's a phenomenal player. So very excited to see what she does this year and how the team does. But I just thought at the time when it was only $50, I was like, oh my God, this is a steal. And I think it's, as we're looking at it on screen right now at 88, it's still a pretty good deal for an auto of hers. So it's a little bit cheaper than the Chrome auto. So you want to get a Caitlin auto, here you go.
I agree. And I think you got a pretty big one yourself, kind of like this, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but there's the super. This was my Grail card.
Slightly bigger.
Slightly.
A little bit. I have several very nice Caitlins that I've gotten over the course of the last few months. This was one that at the time the Bowman wasn't pulled, as Aaron, as you know, it was just pulled recently. So I'm gonna mortgage the house to probably try to get that one, but. I was like, if that one never gets pulled or if it's out of my price range, at least I have something that's like, there's only one in the world. It's got her auto. It's a complete Grail card. It's awesome. So someday I hope to pair the Bowman Super and Super Auto and the Black Shimmer 1/1 with them. We're slowly working on it. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully it happens. But yeah, rare Caitlins, I'm your guy.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice one, man. And I really like the design of this year's Bowman Best U. Actually, I think the Super Fractor and the color always look really good. So congrats on that. That's such an awesome card.
Yeah, they did a great job. I mean, Tops and Fanatics has done a great job with that set. It's fun to rip. It's a great price point, and the fact that you could hit Caitlin and Wembanyama and other big, future stars and current stars is good value. So it's hard to get it's hard to do that. $150 or $100 for a box with potential to hit like $1,000 autos. That's hard to come by these days.
Definitely. And then in some cases there's like $2 autos too in that product.
They can't all be bangers, right? Sometimes you're the fly, sometimes you're the windshield. So yeah.
Totally agree.
We all don't have your luck though, Aaron, ripping those Bowman University products.
Well, sometimes it was bad, but then I opened one box for a guy of Bowman U Best, and then I hit the Wembanyama in the first box, so that was pretty.
Yeah, I mean opening for yourself. I
know. Yeah, some of those didn't go too well. I pulled from football. I pulled the same Mississippi State running backs auto like 3 times in 2 boxes. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, believe me. I mean, we pulled from just Bowman U. We pulled so many of the same guy that literally it's just become a running joke with our break crew. It's like, oh, of course we're gonna pull Gigi Jackson's auto. Why not?
Yeah.
900th one we pulled. So yeah, it's all good. You get some good ones. You get some in betweens in there as well.
I gotta bring up the combo really quick. Real Music says, "What's the deal? Sunday Family Eyes in the playoff on 2K, but I'm in this thing."
Let's go.
Gives up his 2K playoff. Well, hey, I hope you win if you're still playing.
I bet all right, we gotta produce some good content if you're giving that up. So
seriously, yeah, Mikey's got the fire here today. So Mikey, let's jump into what you do now. So you say you've been a breaker since 2018, which is obviously pre card boom and pandemic alone.
Yes.
I think that is, I was around at this time, and you would probably agree. Cards were getting hot already in 2019, way more than they were before.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously COVID just kind of accelerated. But when you started your business in 2018, what was it like? Was it because it's way different than now if you're starting a breaking business. Is it I'm kind of taking a risk here, or is it kind of hey, I know the exact steps, what I need to do to start this business to get the allocations? You don't have to share everything, obviously, but
no.
I'm just curious, how different was it then?
Night and day. I mean, back then, there was only a handful of breakers. I mean, a handful of good ones. We didn't have apps like Whatnot, Loop. I don't want to leave anyone out. Drip, Fanatics Live, all that stuff. But so if you wanted to be a breaker, you were on Twitch or Breakers TV. You were on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram Live, which is where I started. I started on Instagram. So a lot of it back then, I think, was just kind of building your group, building your clientele, building your crew, trying to attract people to what you were doing, because everyone breaks the same products. Most people are priced very, very close to each other. So what separates you as a breaker from everybody else? And I think the reason that we were successful is that we were entertaining, we were fun, we weren't afraid to, laugh at ourselves. We had good value that we offered people. We shipped really fast, and in those days it was crazy. It wasn't that hard to get product. I walked into distribution. One of the major distributors is 5 minutes from my house. I walked up there, filled out an application. A week later, I was getting product. That doesn't happen right now. So it's a lot harder to do that. So the barrier to entry to become a good sized breaker right now is so much higher. But back then, I had a laptop, a $20 webcam. I used Excel, and I didn't have a website or anything like that. It was just, it took me 3 weeks to fill one break. Sometimes I'd have to take a couple spots just to get it going. So it's just remarkable how much we've come along since then. But, my advice to anyone that ever starts or wants to start that business is just listen, the two things that you need to do is, start slow. You don't need to have a website with 600 pieces of merch and try to break 900 cases or whatever. Really, really focus on your audience and building that, because if you build your audience, everything else comes after. So, but until you have that group, it's really, really hard to fill and to keep things entertaining and so forth, so just got to work on getting those folks to come along with you.
Yeah, definitely. I take it that after all this time, what is it, 5 years now or so, you've probably learned that, you need to have that group that constantly wants to support or come back for the new products, because even with us, I break a lot and we break a lot on Fanatics Live. It's you kind of got those core group of people, and then every so often, some new people trickle in and trickle out. But you really got, pay respect and give good customer service along the way too. It goes a long way to keeping those people around, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you gotta take care of your day ones, but you also have to be innovative to get new people to come in, because you can't rely on either group. So you got to have a little bit of both. So you just got to keep churning and doing what works for you, and then hopefully people come along.
Definitely. And then you obviously been in the hobby for a long time. Were you ever kind of out of it for a long time,
yeah.
or?
Yeah, I took a 25-year hiatus. So I was there as a young kid. I got out kind of just at the tail end of the junk wax era. So of course I missed LeBron and Kobe and all that good stuff. So and then got back in right around 2017. So it was more of the Dak and Eazy-E, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff era before Mahomes got there. So I did think the return was just really good timing. I mean, that nothing special about those dates or whatever. But in between, there was high school and college and first job and stuff, and just kind of, lost interest or whatever. And then just one random day in December, I was like, God, I remember sports cards. Are those still a thing? And so I went to my local shop at the mall, and I'm like, I don't know anything. I collected when I was a kid, and they sat me down and they kind of walked me through everything, talked about hits, and now there's autographs and game piece or jersey pieces on cards. I was like, everything has changed, and it's just so much cooler now. So, and I just fell back in love with it.
I love it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So when you started to become a breaker, was it you kind of saw other people doing it? It's I want to try this myself. Was it always, for you? That's why I asked, how long were you out of the hobby for potentially? Because I don't know if you always were oh, it's my dream to become a breaker, right? Kind of probably just hit you one day.
No, I had no idea that even existed, really. I found Layton's, I think, in that same year in 2017. Did my first break while I was on vacation at my parents' house down in Florida. And I was like, this is awesome. So I did breaks with a whole bunch of different people and got to learn a bunch of different breakers at a friend level, and went to my first national in Cleveland and got to know all those people in person. And then what I kind of decided to do was I love the ripping and the opening and the excitement of that. And I was like, but if I could do that for other people, basically, can I have someone pay me to do the most fun part of the job, right? So how do we get that to work? So, well, really what I started to do when I first started was I noticed that certain breakers did things that I really, really liked, and certain did things that I'm like, man, I wish they would. So when we first started, it was just a conglomeration of all the things that I liked from different breakers. So, and we carried on a lot of those traditions today. The easiest one I can think of is we always have our break schedule up on the live stream. So when your break is coming up, what was before, what's after. You're never buy a spot and boy, I hope I get to see my break tonight because I only have a couple hours to watch. or whatever. No, it's like if it's on the website, it's going to break on the next live stream, and you're going to know exactly when. So we don't have it to the point where I can say at 8:45 it's going to break, but we at least have a really good idea of when your break is coming up so that you can best use your time. And I think people love that.
Awesome. Good. That's a great thing to do. Jim, what's up? Glad to have you back. I know it's been a while, but it looks like you've been having fun with the Lakers show on HBO. So good to see you back here. All right, Mikey, let's flip to the second card you pointed out. I brought up Jordan Love earlier because of Kenwood. Why do you got Jordan Love downtown here? That's our boy, or at least any Packers.
Well, okay, so I gotta preemptively say I'm not a Packers big guy or whatever. I'm more of a Lions fan, really, being in Michigan here. But I thought I wanted to get 3 cards that were completely different for 3 completely different reasons. Football, obviously, starting up next week. It's huge right now. Everyone's jonesing for quarterbacks. So when I was looking through things, I looked at like Trevor. I pulled up a bunch of different guys. And I was like, there's something about this Jordan Love card. And again, when I sent you the email, I think this was at like $150. So it's a lot more probably close to like what the market would dictate. But the thing with Jordan Love is I think he's got potential upside in the fact that, he doesn't have a ton of cards outside of his rookie year because he was brought in behind Rodgers, didn't, get much playing time or whatever. So this card was appealing because it's a case hit card, which are always, something that does really, really well. There's probably not a lot of big Jordan Love cards that are case hit cards. He has NT and Prism cards and so forth. But there's just something about the downtowns that I think people love. When I set up at shows, kabooms, downtowns, color blasts, all those like big case hit cards always sell well. People are always asking about them. So I'm like, if you're going to take a flyer on somebody this year, this might be a card that would be worth picking up. Who knows? I don't know if they're going to be good or not. Like I said, I'm not a big Packer guy or whatever, but at the price it was at when I sent the email, I think this was a pretty good, take a shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being a Packer fan, I'm very excited about Jordan Love. Watched way too many years of Rodgers just doing the same old thing, and then eventually just doing the same old thing really bad, which made me be like, "Hey, man, it's time to move on. Bye, go." So I'm really glad that Love's playing this year because at least we get to see what he's made of and worth that first.
I mean, if he comes out and the first 2 weeks are amazing, this card shoots through the roof, right? And if he comes out and he's subpar medium, then who really knows? But of all the guys that I think, excluding the rookie class this year, because I didn't really see a bunch of cards in the auction of them that I thought were like overly interesting, I thought this one just kind of stood out. So once again, I thought at the price it was at the time, definitely worth something, worth a flyer on. But if you had to go with this year's crop, I'm all aboard Anthony Richardson. I think he's got huge potential. I'm a Colts fan, so I'm heavily biased. But that's a kid that, man, he could be amazing. So we'll see.
Look at that. Jim's even saying, he said, don't waste money on Love, go for Anthony Richardson. So at least he's on the same page.
He's a smart guy right there.
Tell me this, Mikey. What happens with Jonathan Taylor this year?
Yeah, I was going to ask. We got to hear about what you think about the Jonathan Taylor situation.
There's good and bad things about having an eccentric owner, who is not afraid to talk. We've lived through a lot of that. So, I don't know. I mean, I know the running backs feel they're undervalued and underpaid, and more power to them. I'm never going to fault someone for trying to get their market value or more money, especially when it goes to support their family and so forth. But I don't know where it's coming from. I'm extremely disappointed because Richardson as a running quarterback and being young with Taylor and with hopefully a potentially better offensive line, way better than last year. I thought, man, we could be dangerous in a pretty weak division. But, Taylor's now out, and so it falls a little bit more to the quarterback. We're just going to have to wait and see. It's too bad. I think whoever gets Taylor, the guy's a stud. If he can stay healthy, he's a stud. But at this point, I'm like, gosh, I hope we just don't give him away for like a 5th rounder or something like that. And,
for a Trey Lance type trade.
Yeah. Well, I remember the days where we traded for Trent Richardson and we gave away a 1st rounder. And I mean, once again, we had an interesting owner, so hopefully we can find a team that's done like we were.
I mean, here's the deal. I love JT. He's like pretty much my favorite non-Packer player ever. Watch every year of him at college and stuff. I went when he went, and I really want to see him and Richardson play. And I thought the Colts were just like a perfect situation for him too, coming out of college, and he had that huge year. So I'm hoping that I kind of hope that no one else trades for him because I think that like if he proves himself this year, maybe he gets what he deserves.
Totally.
And I don't know, man. The whole running back situation is odd because it's like even if a team trades for him, like who's to say they're going to give him the contract he wants? So he very easily could be in the same position.
Right. And it'd be helpful if he wasn't coming off, bad injury and not kind of a subpar last year. So it would
Yeah.
have been great if he would have come out this year. The load wouldn't have been on his shoulders with Richardson probably running some more. We added a good receiver with Josh Downs. So, hopefully we'll be throwing more. So we'll see. It's tough being a Colts fan these days.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like JT's a really smart guy. Like he was in a very hard major at school. I can't remember. It was some super scientific thing. And I feel like that he's obviously trying to make a good business move, but at the same time, it's like, buddy, you were hurt last year. Come back and do it again this year, and then you'll get paid.
Yeah. Hey, get your money, man.
Yeah. All right. Switching subjects here. And we'll go back to that shout out Cam Kessem at the beginning. And I want to bring it back up. You've helped Cam Kessem for 3 straight years now through our charity events. Ever since we started, you were in right away, and I want to thank you for that. And every year after, and you already said on the Instagram post this year, hey, I'm in next year again.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, thanks a million for that. I can't say enough. Secondly, why do you support Cam Kessem? Why when I started that, 3 years ago, were you so in right away? Just share your story with people.
Man, I saw I think an Instagram story that you did, and just kind of talked a little bit about the camp, and I was intrigued just by listening to what you were saying. So I went on their website, learned a little bit more about the organization. And for those that don't know me at all, I suffered a pretty large bout with cancer, had a sarcoma in my foot, had major surgery multiple times, radiation therapy for 7 weeks, rehab for 9 months. It was grueling. Don't recommend cancer. It sucks. So I certainly remember how tough it was going through that, not just on me, but, on the family dynamic that we have. I have a young daughter, and so forth. My wife, my parents came back in town to kind of help us get through everything or whatever. And so the concept of, you're going through something extremely life altering as a parent, and you have an outlet for the kids to go and have fun, maybe pull themselves out of that, very serious environment, be able to, laugh and play and do the things that kids love to do, and so forth, just to kind of help them get through everything. I mean, it just hit home. I mean, the cancer and the kids thing is just dual win. And so it totally resonated with me. And I'm like, listen, I don't need to donate 6 figures or whatever, but if I can toss a couple boxes in or a couple cards in and it can make a difference, and more importantly, if it just helped steamrolls and other people join, who knows what we can do. And what you guys have done in a couple years is it's remarkable. It's remarkable and probably not talked about enough. I know the hobby does a lot of good things for a lot of great organizations, but the level of fundraising, the amount of kids that are able to benefit from what you guys are doing is awesome. So yes, you can just pen me in. You can when you're doing your write up for next year, you can just already, whatever that tier is or whatever, just put Mikey in there permanently or whatever. But I'm all in, man. Anything that'll help for both those causes, it just speaks to me.
Well, Mikey, thank you for that. We appreciate that a lot. I know the kids do too. It was really cool. I got to go a couple weeks ago and see them again this year. I went last year, and the kids now, when I came back this year, they're like, oh, is Slab coming? Does he have cards again? Because last year I brought cards to give out, right? And this year I brought them again, and then, all of them were going nuts. And funny enough, I only brought Bowman U football and basketball this year because that's all we had from what we were ripping. But some of them were going crazy over the women's basketball players. A couple of people pulled Caitlin Clark, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to give this to my sister" or something like that. And
there you go.
It was super cool. Leah Boston and whatever.
All right, we need 2 donations next year. We have the fundraising part and then some card stuff for the kids to rip. So we'll do something dual for that.
There we go. That'd be great. Yeah, I haven't brought the actually live packs to me. I should do that. I've just been repackaging ones.
Oh man, it's so cool to watch kids rip stuff. I mean, they're so excited about everything, and it's inspiring, and it's so fun when they hit something cool, whatever they think is cool. I just love it. I mean, it's just it's great.
Well, also, Mikey, I'm really glad to hear you're doing well. Of course, I've kind of been checking in periodically at shows with you and stuff, so it's good to hear. And I'm happy that you found value in the organization, because I think that a lot of people, even myself included, before I even started with Cam Kessem, it was just you think about someone with cancer, you don't really think about all the people it affects around them, especially the kids. And I couldn't even imagine being a kid kind of going through that. So props to your kid and everything like that, because that just seems extremely difficult.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be like Debbie Downer or whatever, but you know, the surgeries, the radiation, everything that I went through, all that was one thing. The hardest part of that entire journey was sitting down with my daughter when I first got diagnosed, and you know, she was much younger then, and she asked me, you know, Daddy, are you going to die? And I'm like, I don't know, and not knowing if that's truthful or not. I'll just tell you, man, as a parent, I hope nobody ever has to do that or have that conversation. Even now it makes me tear up, but that was just incredibly hard. So I feel for those kids. I know what they're going through. I know what the parents are going through. So once again, that's just another thing that makes this charity and makes that event so great.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for all the help always, and can't wait for next year already. And we talked about kids, and we talk about kids kind of outside the hobby now, but now into the hobby a little bit. But inside the hobby themselves, you know, you don't run a card shop necessarily, but I think you have a large impact on the hobby as a whole and what you do and everything. What are things, you know, that I would say, you know, try to do or find value in for kids to not only get into the hobby but stay in the hobby? Because I think that's the most important part, right? Like, everyone can touch a card at some point in their lives, but it's who's going to touch the cards for the next 10 years, you know, 20 years. Like, what? Yeah. Just give me some thoughts on the, you know, kids in the hobby, because I think it's becoming an even bigger thing now, you know, than it was this year. That the National was insane. All these card shows in the last 3 months, kids have been going crazy there.
So many kids at the National, which is awesome. And it wasn't just like, 5-6 years ago, there was only a couple kid events. Now there's like kids trading area, kids breaks, you know, there's so much stuff centered around the youth, which is great. I mean, that is the future of the hobby. They are a huge part. So I think one of the things that we like to do is, you know, we try to give back when we can. We try to do things for kids or whatever. But our break channel, one of the things that might separate us is that, you know, we are very, very family friendly. It comes from the fact that I have a 9-year-old daughter myself. And so the things that we do as a breaker, I want to make sure that if she was watching, would she be proud? And that's not for everybody. That's what's cool about breaking, is that there's niches for everybody and so forth. But I'm like, if you're a parent and you've got a young kid, you can sit down and watch our stream. You can be entertained. You can laugh. You can see cool stuff, but you don't have to worry about, like, you know, a lot of swear words coming out or bikini clad women or something like that, which, once again, more power to whoever wants to do that. But that's just not us. So I think for us, it's like, you know, we want to make sure that we have an environment where, like, kids could watch, and kids, whether they participate or not. It's really, really cool to talk to some of the people in our crew and be like, hey, I watch your show every Friday with my daughter or with my son, and, you know, I get a spot every once in a while, and it's for him, or he saved up his allowance to get the spot. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to make sure we get something for him or whatever. So it's just really, really cool. Anything that you could do to kind of integrate kids into the hobby is fantastic. And then the other thing I really love to do is, like, when I go to card shows, which is pretty rare for me these days, but on the 2 or 3 shows that I set up at, so shout out Ship Shawana, I really, really like to have, like, kids packs or just some inexpensive stuff I kind of tuck away. Anytime a young kid walks by, it's, here you go. And it's not just, here you go, you know, take my stuff. It's more like you interact with them. Hey, you know, what sports do you like? Who are your favorite teams? Who's your favorite player? Oh, you like Aaron Judge? Great, cool. Hey, you know what? I've got this card right here. Why don't you go ahead and have it? I think it belongs in your collection or whatever. So little things like that make a huge impact and just form so many memories for these kids. So anything you can do to, like, make their day, 1, it's great for them, but 2, it feels great for you. So it's a dual win.
I agree.
Aaron, I'm gonna cut in real quick, but you know what, like, is so impressive? I've said this multiple times, especially at, like, the National. There'll be like a 12-year-old kid come up, and I'm like thinking, when I was 12, like, obviously I didn't know that much about sports. I watched it, and, like, I probably had like $20 to my name, and this kid comes up and he'll pull out like a 4-figure card, and it like he's super knowledgeable about everything, and I'm just, like, blown away by, like, how much they know.
There are kids in this hobby that are, like, fierce negotiators and have collections that are crazy, and that's not all of them or whatever. Just like anything else, there's, like, a huge mix, but it is interesting to interact with them. They'll come and, like, to our display case, and they'll point to, like, a $5,000 or $6,000 card and say, hey, can we work a deal on that? I was like, I mean, I want to hook the kid up, but I'm like, how hard do you negotiate with a 12-year-old? So it's it could be fun. It could be fun, but once again, it's just a good chance to kind of meet a whole bunch of different people in the hobby and get their different experiences in.
For sure. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of kids who are go-getters, to say the least. All right, last card here, Mikey, and this is how we'll cap it off. Is tell us about this MJ Beam Team PSA 9 ending.
All right, near and dear to my heart. Once again, I think it was so $500 current bid. Okay, not bad. I think it was like 300 or something when I sent it over to you. So 3 completely different cards, right? Caitlin Clark had it. Props to Iowa, female collectors, WNBA, transcendent player. Middle card, Jordan Love, football coming up. Jordan inserts to me are like one of the safest buys ever because there's so much nostalgia for people my age. Like when the Beam Team insert came out, that was like, I can't even begin to describe to you how like awesome that card was. So actually I do own one. I have an SGC 9, so nothing too crazy or whatever. Oh, sorry there.
Yeah, let's see it again.
So,
there we go.
SGC 9 or whatever. And then I thought I'd pair it with, we've got the Scoring Kings, which I think is another really, really cool insert. So when I was a kid, these were the expensive cards, right? We didn't have autos. We didn't have patch cards, whatever. We didn't have one-of-ones. We had inserts. And so the nostalgia of being able to own these cards, which might have been too expensive when I was super young, was so there. And so the first thing I started to do when the breaks started to take off and, we started to do really well is I went out and started to buy these cards I just couldn't ever afford as a kid. And I was like, oh, it's so awesome. I finally own a Beam Team Jordan or whatever. So there's just that nostalgia. And worst case scenario, if you buy one and you need to liquidate it, you can always call Andy at Indie Card Exchange. He's always looking for more cards to put on his Jordan card board or whatever. But I just love the old inserts and stuff like that. So to me, the nostalgia of the Beam Team is the first year of it. Jordan, obviously, the GOAT. And it's already slab, so you don't have to worry about the expense there. Even at $500, I still think it's a pretty decent price from what I've seen for this insert going forward. So cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely a legendary insert, and it's bled its way into soccer this last year in the Stadium Club, where they included soccer players with the Beam Team set. I know Julian likes that set. I love that set too.
Love them. It's just something I hope they carry on. And now that you get autographed ones too, so cool.
100%. All right, Mikey. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for joining. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Threads and all the other good stuff. Just Mikey B Cards. And come check us out. Say hello. I'm always happy to talk about the hobby.
Awesome, Mikey. Well, hey, thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Mikey.
What a legend, right, Julian?
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, what a legend. It's always nice hearing him talk because he knows so much, and obviously he's got some great cards as he showed us too. So
I mean, Caitlin Clark Superfractor out on
right. Like we're talking about like the regular auto, and he pulls that out. It's very nice. I hope he gets the chrome one too. That'd be I
know. I sent it to him right away. I was like, Mikey, man, you gotta go for it, bro.
Mikey, please do not mortgage the house. Let's avoid that.
Unless it's Caitlin Clark Superfractor.
Yeah, right.
All right. So there is a lot of stuff ending tonight. And we've got some things to jump into here. We got 7 minutes, everyone, until the next window starts. So that means that you got to have a bid in on anything you want to extend it to the next window. So as you can see here, we got an Ohtani not us, but there's an Ohtani Superfractor auto in this auction. It needs a bid to move on to the next window if you do want to win it, stuff like that. So be sure to check it out. But Julian, I think it's time for your segment here. Maybe we got time for like 1 or 2 cards before the next window. But what's your first card?
All right, we'll start off with a bang. Go with the Wander Franco or auto. He's already got it up. Okay, so obviously segment's back. Who be buying this? The fan favorite. Although I did have a few people reach out to me and be like, "Hey, I was actually interested in the card you talked about." So like, I'm not saying don't buy. Like, just talking about my personal opinion or like our personal opinion. So we'll Will says, "Buy Wander, you'll never strike out again in the MLB."
Wow,
so,
what a stat!
I mean, I can pretty confidently, out of all the cards so far, say like this is not a very good buy. Obviously, he's in a bunch of trouble with the allegations around him having a relationship with a minor. I can't think about why you would want to buy a card like this. And I was thinking earlier while I was looking at this is like, what's the best case scenario out of this situation for Wander? And I think it's him not going to jail. Like, considering the magnitude of everything, that's probably like best case scenario if obviously what he did was true. And there's obviously murmurs around the league about him never playing the MLB again. So yeah, not a great time to sell and definitely not a great time to buy Wander Franco.
Jordan, we already have Who Be Buying copyrighted because we got proof of use over the last couple episodes now. We have
T-shirts. Who be buying?
Yeah, so this Who Be Buying brought to you by Julian is a previously $90,000 card.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you looked that up.
I did not. I assumed it was something pretty crazy.
Yo, $90K on March 2022 in the Premier auction. $90K.
Yeah. You know, my brain is so hardwired into cards now that like I'll see a piece of news and like the first thing I'll think about is cards. And I was like, imagine the people who have like the super Wanders.
Dude, I mean that's how my brain's worked for years now. But like, dude, it's not good. This is. Let me show you this. This is my card, okay? And I bought this thing probably 2 months ago. It's a Ben Baller green. I bought this at Oak Creek, Wisconsin show. I graded. I actually had this already going to SGC, possibly even before. Sorry, I had going to SGC for sure before the news. I think even to PWCC before the news. It's at $5. I think I spent like $70 on this. It's probably like $100 card like a month ago. Like Wander's market is so down that it's like down like 90%, which is this might be one of the biggest drops I've seen in like the recent card market history. Yeah.
It's just so sad. Like these athletes that like there's news like this comes out and you have everything and just threw it away. And the worrying part, obviously I'm not like reading about this every day, is I feel like I haven't seen any type of statement from Wander come out. So
yeah,
that does not reassure you.
He's just like on the MLB like whatever it's like the PUP list, you know, in football. I forgot what they call it in MLB, but either way, like I agree with you, man. Best case scenario is not great, and like no matter what happens from this, like even if he ends up somehow making it back on an MLB, you know, diamond at some point, it's like, are people gonna even want to buy his cards? Like the best case scenario is so little to spend $3,000 today. It's just I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Corolla, you made a good point. When Johnny Manziel's cards are worth more than your cards, that's when you know there's a problem. All right, I'll move on real quick to the next one.
Yeah.
This is also kind of a debate topic with everybody in the comments. We got a Trevor Lawrence Purple Power PSA 10. And I want to
have people for the Trevor Lawrence.
I want to hear what people have to say, because me personally, and I've said this, like especially after the national stuff, do you think PSA 10s are valued too highly in the hobby, or like a 10 in general for grades?
100%.
I would say like some of these prices are just like versus a PSA 9 or a PSA 10. It kind of baffles me, like the type of prices. And I was looking at like this type of card, a PSA 9 Purple Power Auto, you could buy for $2,000 like a couple months ago. Obviously, it's probably a little bit more, but like I would take that any day over a PSA 10 of a non-auto.
No, I've said this for a while, and I think a lot of people probably know that's my opinion too, is like the fact that like with a lot of these companies, there's such inconsistent grading and it can lead to this high of a value difference is crazy to me. And yes, I know we group submit with SGC and we've worked with them for years now, but there's a very good reason behind that, is that they grade the most consistently of any company I've graded with. I've graded thousands of cards with PSA. I've graded thousands of cards with SGC in my lifetime. I've graded hundreds with BGS in the way past. And SGC by far grades them more consistently than any of those companies. And that's why we grade with them, work with them, because I believe in what they do. And I don't think that the value gap on these PSA graded cards is justifiable for how inconsistent is. It makes no sense. So yeah, I agree with you, Julian. Not Trevor Lawrence specific, but like
and even the card, like it's a cool card, but like the grade on this is like, I'll see if there's a card I'm super interested in and like it's PSA 10 is worth 5 times as much. I'm just like, I'm gonna go buy PSA 9.
Yeah, I've definitely, you know, within the shoot. Need this. Need. That was close. I knew there was one card I really wanted in this auction, and I really hope that bid went through.
Yeah, so that was one of the other ones. I had a couple others, but I'm not going to bring them up just for time's sake.
No,
But
we'll get to them. Just not yet. We'll get to them.
yeah,
We
I do
we
want to
can't.
bring up one card that obviously I'm taking away the who be buying is be buying because I think it's insane. I haven't seen this card before because I'm obviously not into baseball. There's like this Pete Alonso polar bear card.
Dude, it's so rare.
This is hilarious. I saw this card and I did a double take.
Bro, that card is super rare.
It's amazing. And we got to buy this card. I'm going to make you buy this card.
Oh shoot, I didn't realize I was still sitting on that Trevor Lawrence card. My bad, everyone. Let's see all these cards that I missed out on because I was too busy looking at Julian's who be buy-ins.
Who be buying? Shout out Andrew St. Croix Cards in the house. And Jim Baker was saying I buy 9s as well. I agree.
At least the Cade Klubnik's at $19 now. So crazy,
Hey.
so crazy. $19. I'm not trying to say that he's the best buy in the world, but just based on the market value, I would say that would be a nice one if you're looking for something. Just saying. Julian, anything on? So we'll get back to your who be buying in a second here, but anything on your hit list tonight? Unless you want to wait to win it first, bro. Right,
There's
sorry.
not. No, there's not. I'm so zoned into the who be buying that I go through everything and I'm being like, that's a crazy card.
How about this Davis Mills? That's probably like a $200 card in the past.
Yeah, that's that's unfortunate. But I don't know if we're gonna go back to the polar bear card. Like, what's the backstory? Like, it was just like an insert that they decided to do. Is there some
Wait,
type
so the backstory is that Pete Alonso's nickname is the polar bear.
Okay.
And they started to they made a couple. I think maybe that was the only SS. I feel there's another. Oh, I'm thinking of the tier 1 bat knob where it's got the polar bear. Like he's like a bat knob or a polar bear on like the bottom of his bat, and they actually like sliced it off and put it in a card. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's his nickname, and
It's amazing.
they made a card of a polar bear.
It's amazing.
That's his rookie year too, so it's quite the card. I actually included it in our Daily Slab newsletter because also, can we go back to this who be buying? Who be buying 195 for $1,600 more than the other 95? This one, yeah, has 0.5 less than the subgrades, but I'm telling you, I've seen subgrades change 1.5 points just someone submitting at a different time. So
Yeah.
please don't fall into that trap.
Yeah. Especially recently, we've seen a couple like PSA 5s go to like BGS 95s, which is like wild.
Yeah, there was like 3 different football examples, I think, in the recent times of that.
Jim Baker. I just bought an Anthony Richardson Topps U Gold PSA 9 Auto 10 for $360.
Oh, nice.
His stuff seems pretty cheap for the Bowman Chrome University, but
Yeah.
obviously he's going to have some. Or actually, I don't know now.
No,
probably not.
He already has cards releasing. Who knows what's going to happen with all the Panini stuff?
Yeah.
But
See, that's interesting for sure because I want to see how that plays out with the. Obviously, I'm a huge Bowman University. I love the rip and those cards. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
So specifically with Anthony Richardson, he's not under an exclusive contract from Fanatics like the other guys are. So I don't think it'll affect like Anthony Richardson's prices aren't going to be like necessarily super high for his Bowman Chrome stuff because it's not like Stroud or Young where like they're under contract that they can't sign. Because like basically as of right now, until the NFL licensing changes, Panini can still make cards. They just can only work with players they have deals with.
Okay.
So we're kind of in a weird limbo state right now to where like I think a lot of people think like that nothing will be releasing, but it's mostly like nothing will be releasing of players that they don't have signed to deals is basically what it comes down to.
sense.
But that could all change super fast here. So I say this now. If you listen 3 days later, you never know what might be happening.
For sure.
This window's about to close. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing where I'm like specifically was trying to buy. I'm sure I missed on like 10 of the things I was hoping for. This Ronald Acuna patch 101's nasty. I don't even know what that patch is, but it's cool.
Also, I'm now the giveaway guy, so we can't forget about a giveaway.
True. I already started to forget about the giveaway. I need to go make sure we don't forget about the giveaway. There's not much time left in this window. So I kind of want to win that Davis Mills for the giveaway.
Send it. Never
Blast
know.
for the past.
You never know. Might take over QB1.
Dude, I'm telling you,
the
all
Lord.
it takes is one start.
Oh yeah,
All
like
it takes
Mike
is
White
one
cards, bonkers.
Seriously, yep. Nah, it's super true.
But obviously Mike White's the GOAT, so like that's a rare scenario.
Yeah, don't disrespect.
Yeah.
Enzo's at $80. The one I got going tonight. Let's go.
Is it the Enzo Blue?
Yeah, the blue
I'm
size.
surprised there's so much Chelsea stuff here.
Okay, tell me why? What's going on? Why is one two times more?
I
versus
have no answer.
Yeah, there's no explanation to that now. There's no 0.5 subgrade 2 times difference there. That makes no sense.
Knick-Knack got a win. Spencer Torkelson, first refractor auto BGS 9.5.
Nice.
Jim Baker says, okay, his hot take. Best backup QB in the NFL is Drew Lock on Seattle. And agree or disagree?
Well, I know he started the last game against the Packers. I think he did okay.
Best backup QB.
I feel like Gardner Minshew with the Colts isn't a bad one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm biased. Sam Darnold.
QB2.
Oh my God.
Who's Trey Lance? We don't know who that is.
Oh my God. Don't get me started. Let's see. What does Google have to say?
You're gonna Google who's the best.
No, we're just saying like best backup quarterbacks. Oh, I didn't even realize Taylor Heineke's on the Falcons.
Blaine Gabbert's still in the NFL.
Oh, I'm sure. Andy Dalton, Panthers. That might take the cake.
I forgot about Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, what a guy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys. I mean, that backup QB position is quite a profitable one, especially if you're like content with staying there, because there's guys that make ridiculous amount of money for never seeing the football field, and I would be perfectly okay with that.
Hey, you know what they say? Backup QB is the best position in the NFL to make a career out of. You don't get hit all the time.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Definitely. Dude, Conor Gallagher is kind of going crazy right now. It's at $72.
He's been playing well. You gotta give him props. He's I was a definitely doubter after last season. I didn't think he'd be able to hang in. Well, I was gonna say in a top team, but like I guess they're not really a top team at the moment. So a decent team.
True.
I
wasn't listening.
I just chirped Chelsea and he said true. Someone clip that.
Oh boy.
Clip that.
That's what happens when you don't listen. Hey, to be fair, we were terrible last year, but now we're back up. We're back up.
That's gonna be the greatest clip that's come out of this.
I said one word. I wasn't listening.
Got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Caught in 4K. I was too busy. I was too busy doing my research. Pete Alonso.
There it is.
AKA the polar bear.
Amazing card.
There's only 2 graded here by BGS. Let's see what this. I see the last one was last one was a raw for 1,000 back in October of 2022. Dude, this is kind of a good deal right now. If someone wants the polar bear SSP, I mean, they don't make its way out very often. I might want the polar bear SSP.
That's sick. If you get the polar bear SSP, I'm taking that from you.
Oh, you're taking
I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna come into the house and just run away.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Someone else has been on it. Maybe I'll leave it now. Someone else threw their hat in the ring. I thought if no one else was gonna go in, that maybe I'd be going in, but I don't be going in.
Alonso looks extra fit there, Will S says. A little whiter too. Oh man.
CJ Beathard.
Okay, yeah. Jim, it's going downhill real quick.
Jim, I don't know what I mean, I know who that is, but is he still in the NFL? He was a backup for the 49ers for a bit. He's from Iowa. He's on the Jaguars.
On the Jags.
Threw a 74-yard touchdown the other day in preseason.
Who is even the Packers backup?
Oh, Sean Clifford.
Oh, we talked about this. It's the The guy who took Aaron Rodgers' locker, right?
Yeah.
What do you play, Penn State?
Yeah, Sean Clifford from Penn State.
Yeah.
He's actually like not bad.
Yeah. He's a dog. He had a couple like plays in college where he got absolutely destroyed, and then he like got back up, and I was very impressed.
That is very impressed. Yeah, these. I wonder if that Wander right here was the 90 grand one. I think I'm gonna have to go.
Nick Neck says another win 2019 Panini case bronze RG Barrett RPA BGS 9. Very nice. Jim Baker says my eyes don't lie, brother. I think your eyes might be lying a little bit, but just my personal take. Yeah, Nick Neck says Canada doing well at FIBA, getting rep the nation. LOL. Did you see that France got knocked out by what, like Latvia or something?
Dude, France got smoked by Canada the other day.
It's crazy.
They got absolutely smoked.
My guy Rudy Gobert not doing anything, man.
Wemby's not playing. Who's the other one that they said? I forgot the other one. Someone else.
I honestly haven't been following it very closely.
USA beat New Zealand. There's like a bunch of like kind of like exhibition games leading up to. Oh, we got our giveaway. Davis Mills, baby.
Best giveaway so far.
I mean,
come on now.
I wouldn't doubt that card was like $150 plus at one point. Let's see.
Jim says USA, Spain, and Canada are the top 3 teams. That makes sense. I wouldn't doubt it. That Canada team looks nice. A little SGA action.
What's this insert called again?
I have no idea.
It's gone now. What happened?
The sick insert.
What happened?
What happened?
Where'd it go? No, for real.
Someone's jealous. They're trying to get it off of us.
No, I need to get the boy.
I'm gonna have to find it.
What? The Davis Mills?
Yeah.
I can go get it quick. Jordan, we leave Wednesday night. It's called Rookie Kings. I should have known that. So it looks like that the most expensive Rookie Kings to ever sell was $165 last August. I told you it was like $150+ card at one point.
Big money, baby.
Maybe it gets back there if Bryce Young flops. Just kidding, he won't flop.
Hey Jordan, you didn't respond to any of our messages, man. We're hopping on your private jet. Like we're trying to get those tickets, man. Free travel.
What are you talking about?
Air Jordan.
Oh, I actually called him that the other day. That's hilarious. He said he was flying somewhere to do a deal. And I was like, I mean, pretty much Air Jordan at this point. Oof, that's another tough one for 2021 QBs. Mac Jones.
Yeah, tough one. Still don't understand the Bailey's happy, but like, let's see what happens.
I'm trying to figure it. I can't find this.
Wow, Tom, this is impressive. I know. I'm just happy I made a deal, and I'm out of my most expensive Wander cards with only $30 loss overall.
Wait,
how? That I don't know how you pulled that off, but that's a talent right there.
Did someone not know about this recent discovery? Also, excuse me. How are people feeling about Zach Wilson? If you're a Jets fan, do you think Zach Wilson is gonna stay and replace Rodgers in 2 years? He's only 24.
I think just like the Jordan Love situation, you can't not factor in being behind Aaron Rodgers. I mean, obviously it's the preseason, but he had one play that was crazy. And obviously there's not as much pressure on him either. So people are kind of rooting for him because I know some of his interviews last year came off of not the best way. So hopefully he gets like a fresh start and all that with this Jets team. And I'm rooting for the guy.
Bro, he definitely got humbled when they brought Rodgers into town.
Oh yeah.
He thought they were gonna bring in someone where it's like, how they can just kind of have this revolving carousel of like kind of mediocre quarterbacks coming in out of New York.
Yeah.
That did not happen. Well, I got my first win of the night here. That's non-giveaway. Freddie Freeman. This is a Topps Allen and Ginter Chrome Red Mini out of 5 for $62. Kind of excited about this. Want to grade it with SEC. Seemed like a pretty good deal at 62 for a MVP candidate, red out of 5. So that's pretty nice. I'm really hoping to get this out free, but I think that someone will be battling with me right now in it. So we'll see.
What's going on with the Brewers also? Like, obviously, I don't been followed as closely as you. Every time I've looked at my phone and got a notification, it's they've won a game.
Dude, 8 straight wins, baby.
That's crazy.
Yeah, hottest team in the MLB right now, man. Our pitching is amazing. Jim. You've had a lot of crazy statements over the years. So let's not say that Jordan Love isn't good when we're trying to talk about Blaine Gabbert and CJ Beathard being called the backup quarterback.
CJ Beathard better.
Andrew's at the Packers game this weekend. Give us a first impression of Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love, basically the new Aaron Rodgers in person. Is a cap what Jim be saying about Aaron Rodgers? Wait, we had another who be buying this. I'm ready for this segment right now. Who be buying? What's the next one?
Who be buying? Next one. Okay, this one. It's sold though, but
that's fine. Just tell me what it is.
It's a Tyrese Halliburton Flux Atmosphere. Just look that up. This might be one of the ugliest cards I've ever seen. I'm really sorry if someone bought this.
Wait, the Thermosphere?
Yes. Okay, I can't. This card is not good looking at all.
You don't like this?
I don't like it at all.
It looks like he's like ripping a hole in the galaxy or something.
It kind of looks like you gave the color book to a little kid and they went outside the lines and that's the final product. See, Nick, I'm not trying to attack you guys, but personal opinion, that's a trash, man. No.
Julian says it's trash. I mean,
what even is that in the background? It kind of looks like a I don't know, part of a dragon or something, something that you're trying to draw a dragon and that's what came out.
Part of a dragon.
Poor man color blast. I agree with Matthew.
What do you say? Poor man color blast. I mean, they clearly are going very space driven here, 80 to 700 kilometers. Excuse me, it's the Thermosphere. Go back to school, kid. I mean, literally, look at they got an exosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere.
Yeah, it's not a big fan. I got
who wrote this? Who wrote this this bio on the back? The Lake Show turned into the Halliburton Hour on April 30th, 2021 at the Staples Center. The Halliburton Hour is that his new nickname?
Oh man, that's funny. All right, last one that I cannot wrap my head around is a Joe Burrow 2020 Prism base PSA 10 sells for $222.
You don't be liking the base PSA 10s?
I don't understand. I go to shows and then I'll be like, I can't think of a single person who would buy a card like this. And then there's online auctions or eBay auctions, and these cards consistently sell for over $100. Who be buying, man?
I want to know what the population is. And I mean, here's the deal. There's nothing unique about this, and there's a billion of them. There's actually, oh my gosh, the population's way higher than I thought of this. It's 6,442.
Imagine going, I can't even imagine if I'd feel bad for myself and slab stocks as a whole if I brought this up to a table and was just hey, can I trade?
Here's the thing. PSA 9 is $54.
That's still way too much.
No, I know, but PSA 9 is $54. PSA 10 is $250.
Yeah.
I don't understand why on a modern base card there's that big of a gap for the price too. Andrew confirmed said that Jordan Love's MVP. I'm just messing. Yeah, honestly, he impressed me, man. Jim, I'm not sure why you're saying he's not good. I haven't seen anything in the last 2 years to say that he won't be good. I'm not saying he'll be obviously MVP candidate or a good super, super good QB. But I don't think there's anything to say that he's like a bad QB, which is, I mean, I'm not sure. We'll see.
I mean, Jim, I'll counter this argument where you said it doesn't make him a good QB, makes him a game manager. I think there's a way to be a very good game manager and be a good QB. That's essentially like, I don't know. I think also with his mobility, there's a way to cover up some of the flaws because he can run and there's that threat, so it opens up stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm also on the train of like maybe he won't do the best, but like I have more hope now than I did probably 2 or 3 months ago.
Let me say this. I'm not even saying that his cards are good purchases. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that from a Packer fan perspective. Like, I'm excited about what he brings to the table. And also, I think that, like, you look at, like, what Garoppolo did with the 49ers, I think it's way better than what Garoppolo could be.
Yeah, right? Like, you have that team, and it's like Jimmy G is by no means, like, top 20 quarterback, but, like, he in that system, in the scenario, he looked like a good QB.
Yeah, remember, he's got at least a good running back and a solid running back behind him in Green Bay, 2 newly drafted tight ends. The young receiver situation is a little scary with the injuries and stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah. My guy Jay always coming in with the funny, the great cards. He says, as opposed to the Joe Burrow base card you could have bought for $80, too late, 1935 Mickey Mouse Birds in the Spring, Type 2 PSA 2. Jay, I need to see that collection one time.
Jay's definitely got the craziest collection. Okay. Jimmy G made the Super Bowl not because of Jimmy G. Let's make this clear.
I can confirm.
Let's make this clear. Julian is a 49ers fan.
We beat the Packers because the Packers special teams absolutely choked. Jimmy G did not throw for a single touchdown.
Also, the other year, and I don't even remember who your quarterback was this time. Did he make the Super? Wait, so when we lost the NFC Championship game, was that Jimmy Garoppolo playing against us? I think.
Yeah.
Bro, you guys ran for like 400 yards.
Yeah, it wasn't Jimmy G.
No, his defense and special teams are other threats, running game and everything like that. Yeah. I am a happy camper tonight. I can finally sit here and say that now because Sal Frelick, Bowman's Best Atomic, which I think these cards are sick. And I don't know why it's not showing up. PSA 10, I indeed just dubbed on. He's back from injury, had double today, 2 walks, multiple RBIs. Guy is a animal, and I'm just gonna point out that I think that it sold for like $300 in July, so I'm a fan of that. Kind of dropped. He was injured for a little bit, but nice card right there. It's a stud.
Yeah.
Is Jim back with the crazy takes?
I'm just going down the list. I mean, Tom, I'm not saying he's Jordan Love's better than him. I'm just saying in terms of like QBs in a system, like he did very well.
Tom is totally just joking because of Brady's Super Bowl appearances when he was back up.
Yeah, that's a good point. What else we got? Jordan, I'm pretty sure I've told you this multiple times, but that's okay. I am a Niners fan. What else we got?
Okay, we gotta stop using these. Okay, you can't argue that someone's not a good QB because of things that they don't do, and then go and argue that Jimmy G is a good QB because of his winning percentage. The math ain't math in here.
The math ain't mathin'.
No, like that's like taking like 2 different like things and trying to work them against each other. It doesn't work. Down on the farm, that's a big call right there. It would be right there with Carroll if he'd started the year with the Brewers. I would love him to be second in MVP or MVP. What you might call it, Rookie of the Year voting. He's been great. I mean, he's at 113 OPS plus, 3 home runs. Not his average isn't as high as it should be. Hopefully, it gets there in the future, but he's definitely making impact plays all the time. Oof.
Yeah, like here you go. If we go to the active QBs with the highest current win percentage, Brian Hoyer's 3rd, Colt McCoy's 4th. I don't think that's some Blaine Gabbert is 7th. Like I don't know if that's strictly off of that if you can say that.
Here's the deal. There's just no chance that Jim, okay. The reason why Jordan Love probably won't sniff a .643 winning percentage just because the Packers team is not as well constructed as the 49ers team has been these past like 4 years. That's fact. Is it not, Julian?
That's facts.
Okay.
You could stick me on the 2019 Warriors bench. My win percentage would be off the chart. I wouldn't be making any shots.
I just think that like that's. I'm not saying that.
Jim,
Okay.
you're entitled to your opinion, and I think that there's a chance that Jordan Love does not pan out. But
okay, I agree with that, but we can't use Jimmy Garoppolo as the argument to being why Jordan Love can't pan out. All right,
Jim, I do admire your passion. I agree with Jordan. Stick to your you got to stick to your guns. I respect it.
Oh, Jim is very, very opinionated, and I remember when he was. What's a bad analogy? The Garoppolo. Okay, we're moving on. What does Peg Junk have to say?
Changing topic. Peg Junk. Is it just me, or now with the Ohtani injury, does that make him a lock to go to the Giants? All they do is spend money on injured players. Just my thoughts.
That's a low blow to the Giants. I'm really intrigued to see what happens with Ohtani. The injury is a concern, obviously, as what makes him so unbelievably more valuable than any other players when he can do both pitching and hitting. He's an amazing hitter. I mean, leading the league in home runs, and has got like a 300 plus average, like would probably be MVP just about without the pitching too. I don't know if a team will spend the $600 to $700 million on him now, because 2 UCL surgeries, 30 years old. There's definitely some risks there that he's not as good of a pitcher when he comes back, and he might not even be pitching at when he comes back. So we'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen. It'll be interesting. I just feel bad that this all happened right now. I heard something that said that the Angels didn't do a single scan on his elbow the entire year until now, which maybe I'm just taking this the wrong way. And I definitely read some Twitter stuff about this, but like that seems very, very bad. Like to be a training staff that doesn't like scan your pitcher's elbow to make sure like everything's kind of progressing well. Like what if they found out like 2 months ago that like there was something that could have been, prevented by maybe taking 3 weeks off of pitching.
Oh yeah,
and it could heal.
Yeah, with a player of that caliber, I am taking every precaution possible, even if like he's 100% healthy.
So some of the question then goes to like, are they trying to not do it because they, are trying to re-sign him and didn't care? I don't know. Like I just feel they weren't taking into Ohtani's best interest into account.
Yeah,
because
I don't want to speculate, but I could see a scenario where they're like, we're pretty confident he's going to leave. We need to get as much out of him as we can.
Yeah, exactly.
In the current moment, I could see that, and that's not a good way to go about that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I think happened. Like they had to win all these games to try to retain him in any scenario. They like had to make the playoffs, so they kept him pushing it. I just think it's brutal. Peg Junk brings up a good point. He could move to closer, and he could span his life out as a pitcher a lot by doing that. He could still be extremely dominant. Like he'd be the best closer, and then will be. Other than Devin Williams, just kidding.
Yeah, in terms of like that type of injury, are there like is it widely like understood that once you have that surgery, there's no way you get back to where you were?
No. One surgery is very common for like actually quite a bit of pitchers. And they come back, and he had it in 2018, and he came back and was dominant.
Oh, it's again.
It's generally the second one that I think a lot of times after the second one, not many pitchers get back to where they were previously. Like there's a very small case of pitchers, and Steven Strasburg just retired now, and I think he might have had twice or was battling other injuries. John Smoltz did move to the closer role, as Jordan pointed out here. I think after an injury too. So it's kind of a lot of things going to play. All I know is the guy's still a stud. Hit a home run after tearing his UCL. Hit a double the next day or 2 days later.
Crazy.
Like absolutely a beast. Now he's going at you. He says that the Seahawks are gonna be the darlings of the NFC West.
No comment.
Also, Big John with the funny comment. If he moves to closer in the Angels, he'll pitch once every 2 weeks. It's like Josh Hader. We just swept the Padres and we didn't play Josh Hader once because we were beating them every single game, going into like this 8th and 9th inning. Giants got a big win over the Braves tonight. Goodness, the Braves like 40 games over 500.
Yeah, I was actually funny because when I was thinking of like what's right for the headline, I looked up like the MLB standings, and isn't it like the Mariners have been on a roll?
Dude, yeah, actually, they've been the hottest team since the All-Star break. Brewers have been have the longest active winning streak right now. But yeah, the Mariners are 9-1 over the last 10, and they've just been, dude, they're one game ahead in that division now. They were two games under 500 at one point, I think, recently.
That's wild. Jim, I will come on alive and admit I was wrong if what you're saying pans out. I will say that.
If what pans out, the Seahawks?
Like if Jordan Love is absolutely terrible.
I mean, so will I. We'll be here on all these Sunday Lives. I'm not.
You know where to find us.
Okay. Here's the deal. There's a difference between saying he could not be good, but also saying 100% this guy will not be good. You're very, very confident in that, Jim. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm also not saying I'm 100% confident in him being amazing. But we'll see. I'm very excited. Well, this is kind of cool. Patrick Vieira here.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one before. 1994 Premium Jokers. Arsenal, a bunch of jokers. Drawing to Fulham at home. Man, dude, you guys were close to being down bad this weekend, Julian.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started. We're still like, everyone's like, oh, it's amazing. Like, we won. Like, that's not the takeaway from that game.
No, dude.
Like, I swear, if Anthony starts another game, it was way better. Like, Martial starting up top, we just need a striker. Even if, like, it's not the best striker, we need a striker because Rashford out wide is just lethal.
Yeah, he definitely made a difference.
And, like,
on the left.
Bro, like, obviously maybe Garnacho hasn't been playing the best, but Police Street, I'd be okay with starting Police Street. I think
I heard some people say he's going to go out on loan. Would you be mad if he goes out on loan?
Yeah, I mean, he's a young guy, and there's clips like of him just coming in for like 10 minutes and he's just tearing it up. So I hope Ten Hag doesn't continue the favorite train because obviously him and Anthony have history. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Very typical start to the season for Manchester.
Now, Jim, that's something I can't disagree with. You finally have me on something. Load up on Caleb Williams autos. I'm a big Caleb Williams guy. I've got a couple really nice ones, which I will be actively looking to sell as the season goes on. So, but I agree. Caleb Williams is an absolute stud. He threw for 4 touchdowns yesterday against San Jose State, getting his Heisman defending season started, and we'll see. It should be a really good year of college football. I'm very excited for this season.
Yeah. Jordan S. Aaron Julian, who'll be the hottest selling player at the Burbank show? Jordan, I want to hear what you have to say, but Aaron, what do you think?
I don't know, probably some quarterback.
Yeah. I was going to say like Ohtani, but obviously it's the trade stuff and the injury because like you got to take into effect like the location of the show. Yeah, but I don't think that's the case anymore. It's definitely going to be football.
I think Ohtani, like, there will still be people buying and selling them all weekend because, like, that's what happens when you're like one of the best players in the sport. People are always looking to like buy, sell, kind of upgrade or work their way up. But I just don't think
I know who it's going to be. It's going to be Justin Herbert.
You think?
Yeah, for some reason.
Proximity plus.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very intrigued. It's very difficult playing a division with Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's kind of always up against it. You know, he's got to win a playoff game this year. I really think. If he doesn't win a playoff game this year, I think there's gonna be a lot of money that will be possibly lost on Herbert. I mean, there's only so many places that stats can take you. Also, we're under 24 items already. Oh, I gotta start this giveaway for the Davis Mills.
Yeah. What are comments we got? Jordan says Herbert and Anthony Edwards. Okay, so we agree on the Herbert. Probably Anthony Edwards with all the US stuff.
Yeah, his cards are definitely hot. Also, we need to pick a card, my guy. I'm taking
I need to get better at this.
I'm gonna take the Rock PSA 10.
I am going to take.
You better pick something fast here.
I'll go with this Pikachu Ultra Premium Gold Medal.
Cool.
I feel like the Pokemon cards have been winners recently. I pulled out Matt's comment. He said, Julian, Elon is really showing out recently. If he'd gone on the intermediates earlier, he would have been in the conversation for podium. I'm sticking with it. He's probably had one of the best seasons, like considering like car and driver. Super impressed with him. I think in going into Q3 of qualifying, he was like third or fourth, which is like that guy's he's a tank, and I love him as a person as well.
I mean, he started the race fourth today.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I see. Like, there's so much I just don't remember. But I knew he started pretty high.
Yeah.
But he's just in that Williams car is something else. I hope he has the opportunity to get into like a top car. It's just hard because of the different driver pairings, and obviously I wouldn't want to go to Red Bull. So let's see how it pans out. I mean, if he can keep producing in a car like Williams, it isn't the worst idea to just stay there instead of going. Like, I wouldn't make a move to like Alfa Romeo or something.
Lance Stroll goes and plays tennis. He goes to Aston Martin.
Is that not the craziest thing ever? I saw that and I was like, this dude is like on like my career. He's just like doing the next thing.
Did you hear what he said though? He said that he still loves racing and he plans on racing, but he said that he just doesn't think he's good enough to beat Alcaraz or Djokovic yet.
I feel like he's forced to say that. Imagine how down bad I'd be if I bought a team just so my kid could like perform and he doesn't do anything and then like leaves.
Once again, he is far off Fernando Alonso.
So far off.
All right, everyone. We got 2 minutes. 10:08 p.m. Central Time. I'll leave the giveaway open until live. Y'all already started throwing down your number ones.
My items.
Oh, did?
Yes.
If y'all are new here, the number ones are to enter the giveaway, and yeah, Julian is gone once again. I think that
I'm so bad at this.
You're really bad, dude. I don't think you've ever.
Like, it's like a skill. Like I can choose one and it gets out like right away.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
There's a lot of like older stuff that's a bunch of Harry Potter stuff. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I'm sure that Jay's all over that stuff. I'm so pumped about that stuff, really. Jordan, I don't think that he actually, maybe he was. I saw a Twitter thing about it. So maybe that's where the quote came from. Maybe it was this weekend. It must have been. He just said that his heart's still in racing and that, he didn't really say like that. I wouldn't want to play professional tennis at some point. Okay, let's be honest. If you are even in consideration of it, like you have to be good. Like he has to be really good at tennis to actually have this even be a conversation point.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean,
it'd be hilarious if he transitioned. He's just terrible. He played like high school tennis.
Sure, that'd be funny.
Tom being the devil on my shoulder. Julian put a 1 in the chat.
Like when he said at the bottom, you want to join us.
You want to trade. What is that? Stitcher 1. Oh man, here I am creating a new account so I can do it.
This is a really nice Wayne Gretzky auto, $2,300, authentic game used stick. That's a super sick card from 1998 Upper Deck Gold Reserve. If I was a big hockey collector, I do like hockey a lot, just not that expensive. I'd be all over that. That's a sick card. My rock sold. Okay, I took it down.
Patrick Vieira still going.
It is. All right, giveaway is closed.
Man, I'm excited for some ripping tomorrow. Oh
yeah, it's good. I was just thinking about that. You ready for Fanatics Live?
Yeah.
Stadium Club Chrome release day.
The second I left after ripping Merlin, I was like, I need to be back. I don't know how I've lasted this long.
Bro, I pulled 3 match balls in 2 cases today.
Okay, you didn't have to say that.
Did you see the Jude?
Jude, yeah.
That Jude was nasty.
I don't know when I stopped watching, but like, what was the best hit out of everything?
Guler auto out of 99 Mojo. I hit a second one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Noise. For the same person too.
Really?
Yeah. All right, here we go, everyone. The Davis Mills is the giveaway for the night. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully he maybe gets a start somewhere at some point.
It's like winning the lottery.
30 people on the list. Let's see. I'm going to go with Jim, honestly. I'm going with Jim. He was talking trash all night to us about the Jordan Love and the Niners and stuff. But
I'm going to go with Connie Choi 10.
All right, here we go. Peg Junk.
I was thinking about choosing him.
Connie ended 7th, and Jim ended 24th. It looks like, or somewhere. Oh, actually, Jim actually had 2 names. Remember, Jim didn't win, so it doesn't matter. Peg Junk winner.
Connie, I was rooting for you. You got close.
All right, Peg Junk, there you go. Congrats on your Davis Mills. Please make sure that you email us your character key, your identity key. Go to preferences, send us your identity key, and that's all we got. That's all we got. If you're gonna be in Burbank, everyone will see you there this week. We'll be there Thursday evening for the first time at the show. Super excited about that. That's a preview night. We'll be there Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday into the afternoon. So very excited. Hope to see you all there. If you want to join us on Fanatics Live this week, we'll be live Monday through Wednesday, each time around in the morning into the afternoon, potentially into the evening some of the days. So very excited about that. Lots of soccer and baseball. Top Storm Cosmic releases Wednesday. Stadium Club Chrome tomorrow for soccer. Julian, you pumped?
Oh man, if you guys want to see some heat pulled, I got some of the hot hands. I got over that little hump of that first day. Got the hot hand. So we got Stadium Club tomorrow. I think we have a mix of baseball and soccer on Tuesday.
I think it's a mix of Merlin and possibly Merlin just soccer on Tuesday. There's no more baseball until Wednesday. Cosmic Chrome.
And then Cosmic Chrome. So I mean, you guys know where to hit up. You know where to hit us up. We'll be there. Come chat.
Yes, Fanatics Live. Look up Slab Stocks. All the spots are actually available for all the streams this week. Super pumped to be there. And also, we'll see you all there. Thanks for coming tonight. And Peg Junk, there's your Davis Mills.